Hi, my name is Jessica Heyer, and this project is about social media as a potential factor for eating disorders in teens. I am first going to go through the types of eating disorders that patients are diagnosed with. There are several types, but we're going to be focusing on the four main types of eating disorders that are listed here. First, anorexia nervosa is characterized by extreme weight loss, making it difficult to maintain the appropriate body weight. Second is bulimia nervosa, which is characterized by recurring episodes of binge eating followed by actions that counteract the binge eating, such as forced vomiting, use of laxatives, or fasting. Third is binge eating disorder, which is characterized by losing control of eating habits without a compensation action, like in bulimia nervosa. And finally, unspecified eating or feeding disorders are eating disorders that have some symptoms of these main types but do not fit exactly into one of these categories. There is also a concept called disordered eating, which is characterized by abnormal eating patterns, including fasting and binge eating. Disordered eating is the beginning to many eating disorder diagnoses because it can set the stage for a negative body image. Disordered eating can increase the probability for three components of eating pathology, which are dietary restraint, binge eating, and negative affect. These components are interlocking and can cause patients to cross the line from disordered eating to an eating disorder diagnosis. Therefore, those with disordered eating should seek medical help before the disorder progresses. There are many risk factors that can cause these different types of eating disorders. There are genetic predispositions for eating disorders or disordered eating that can be passed on to future generations. There are also psychological factors that can become a risk factor for eating disorders, such as specific personality characteristics, including perfectionism. Another type of risk factor is environmental factors, including the ability to afford or access enough food to eat. And the most common risk factor that this project focuses on is sociocultural influences, including media exposure and the pressure to be thin, as seen in the media. The prevalence of eating disorders is increasing due to social media, as shown in the picture on the right. This study from 2013 found that 13 million Americans binge eat and 10 million women have either anorexia or bulimia, compared to 1 million men who have anorexia or bulimia. Another study from the CDC in 2009 asked high schoolers questions about their eating patterns, and they found that 33% of high school age females think that they are overweight, and 56% of them are actively trying to decrease their weight due to pressures to being thin. Eating disorders, especially anorexia nervosa, are very serious disorders and can cause many long term health risks when not treated properly. Those who are diagnosed with anorexia often have delayed puberty and growth, organ failure, especially kidney failure caused by dehydration, low blood pressure from circulation issues caused by lack of nutrients in the blood, osteoporosis due to hormone dysregulation and lack of proper nutrients such as calcium, and many more. Therefore, those with eating patterns of those with an eating disorder such as anorexia should seek medical attention as soon as possible to prevent these long-term medical effects to start happening. Social media has been known to cause body image insecurities for many people for a long time. One study found that increased exposure to social media can present unrealistic images of the female body that can lead to negative views in body image, which is a key indicator of disordered eating, which can lead to an eating disorder. This study also explained Bandura's social cognitive theory and found that mass media caused internalization of these unrealistic images of beauty, since the media puts emphasis on an ideal body that women should strive for. Another study in 2017 researched the social cultural model and found that body image disturbances causing eating disorders correlates with the societal pressure for women to lose weight to achieve the ideal body, like this advertisement shown here that claims that a beach body is only one that has lost weight and is skinny. And for men to be strong and muscular, like this advertisement shown here, that makes the assumption that the ultimate physique has to be muscular. There are several more studies that were conducted researching the effects of social media on eating disorders. This past year, many researchers have been looking at the connections of increased social media exposure during the COVID-19 pandemic and increases of disordered eating and eating disorders. One study found that due to lack of in person events, social media use was increased among many people, which includes high amounts of stressful articles about the pandemic and body centric media. This has shown to heighten psychological distress, which leads to disordered eating patterns. Another study found that the popular media trends of gaining weight over quarantine and increased media attention to meal ideas for at home has put more attention on eating and can cause stress induced disordered eating patterns. Another study researched concerns regarding health and fitness among people during the COVID-19 pandemic. This study looked specifically at how the increased use of media has increased exposure to the thin body ideal objectification in media that have caused many people to rationalize calorie restriction due to fitness centers not being open. However, this can lead to disordered eating when people start to restrict their diet. An example of how media exposure shows unrealistic body ideals and eating habits is a popular trend on YouTube and TikTok called What I Eat in a Day videos. This trend became really popular within the past year during the COVID-19 pandemic. These videos will show what that specific person eats during a day, usually to lose weight. However, they show food patterns that would not fit all body types, especially because these videos are generally advertised with photos like the one on this page that further shows the media's body ideal. Most eating patterns are restrictive in the amount of calories or types of food they consume. They also tend to include more expensive foods or supplements such as protein powder or fruits and vegetables that many people cannot regularly afford. These videos also assume that the weight loss process is a one size fits all process, which is not the case. If different body types try to follow these patterns, they may not be getting enough nutrients that they need, which can lead to patterns of disordered eating and could progress further to an eating disorder. The United States also should work on increasing the amount of available education on prevention for eating disorders. There are three different types of preventions that were found in a study from 2015. The first is primary prevention, either universal prevention or selective prevention. Universal prevention focuses on increasing knowledge of the damage an ideal body image in the media has caused and how we can create public policies to stop objectifying bodies. This is the first line of defense on a large scale that should be incorporated into schools so that everyone is aware of the public health issue. The selective method focuses on providing resources to those who have not been diagnosed with an eating disorder but have high potential risk factors. This could include those who have a genetic predisposition from their parents for an eating disorder, or those in areas that lack the resources for food, or even teens who are exposed to social media a lot. This doesn't necessarily target those who have symptoms of an eating disorder yet. The last type of prevention is called secondary prevention, and this targets those who have not been diagnosed with an eating disorder but show many symptoms of negative body image and disordered eating. This method attempts to halt these symptoms from progressing to a more severe eating disorder such as anorexia nervosa or bulimia nervosa. Several companies have already noticed the issue of social media displaying one body type as the ideal body type. These companies have included pictures like the one on the right, along with campaigns that show that every body is unique and beautiful in their own way. For example, the company Dove used a wide range of women with different BMIs to be more inclusive and move away from the idea that models are supposed to be very skinny. In 2006, Madrid and Milan created a ban for females with a BMI lower than 18 to be in their high fashion shows because these models were being held to an unhealthy eating standard that usually were accompanied with malnutrition. Many companies have also received a backlash in the media for not being inclusive of all sizes in their clothing and their models, such as Victoria's Secret and Brandy Melville. One popular company called Aerie from American Eagle has started a Real Me campaign that does not retouch their models and includes a wide range of sizes to be their models. Other companies that target teenagers should incorporate these changes as well, such as diversifying their body type range for their models and make clothes that can accompany any body type.